Cheltenham at Boyle Sports. Bring it on.
You're very welcome to Cheltenham. This is Johnny Ward from the Irish Independent. We're here for the 4 days. I'm here with Niall Cronin from the Herald and of course Leon Blanche from Boyle Sports, and we're going to have coverage over the 4 days. It's going to be an extravagant 4 days, Niall, and you must be looking forward to it.
Yeah, sure, I suppose, Johnny, we're standing where every set of connections want to be at Cheltenham Festival here in the Winners' Enclosure. A massive 4 days. We spend the whole season kind of waiting for it to come around, and here we are now. We're missing a few stars, but a lot of competitive action and still an awful lot of good horses.
Over the course of the week on the Independent, we're going to have Patrick Mullins every day. I'll be here with Vincent Hogan, and our coverage will be pretty extensive, given it the coverage it deserves, I suppose. And the Herald isn't too bad either, Niall.
No, I hope not. We have a regular columnist, Katie Walsh. For this week, we've also got David Mullins, who has a fantastic book of rides to look forward to, and so too is Jamie Codd, who was with us for the week, and he's even picked up a spare ride in a professional race tomorrow. So he's a lot of good rides to look forward to as well. So hopefully we'll. Between us all, we'll find winners both on the track and in the paper.
Leon, how would the turnover for Boyle Sports of the 4 days compare to other sort of festivals in the year?
Well, there's nothing like it, Johnny. It's number one by a long, long way, to be fair. I think people look at Cheltenham and they're saving up the few quid probably 3 or 4 months in advance to go to war for the 4 days. I think the anti-post business is pretty much done and dusted. It doesn't really happen anymore because there's so many multiple entries for different horses. So the real action gets going from tomorrow at 1:30. That's when we'll really start seeing the money flow in. There's been a few horses backed anti-post, the likes of Mellon was big enough prices at the turn of the year, is now down to what, 3-1, 7-2 favourite. You know what I mean? Harry has been well supported, and rightly so. He seems to just keep winning all the time. Jacadam is another horse that was double digits after the Lexus. He's now into 7-2. In my estimation, he'll go off favourite. I think the Irish will get right behind him on the day. So, look, we are looking forward to it. We're giving our customers 2 good money back offers, I think. Second or third to the starting price favourite. Get your money back as a free bet. And if your horse falls at the first or last fence, get your money back as a free bet. So we're trying to entice customers, as every other bookmaker will be. But we believe at Boyle Sports we're giving our loyal customers 2 decent offers.
That's a good example as well of the offers you can get this week, because the bookmakers are definitely competing against each other, and those money back offers definitely come in handy when you're trying to get a few bob for later on in the week. We're going to start off though with the first race, or rather the main race of day one, which is the Champion Hurdle. I fancy Yanworth in this under Mark Walsh. It's going to be his first ride of the actual festival, and he's never ridden a winner here. Niall, what's your idea of the winner of the Champion Hurdle, and what do you make of the race?
Yeah, interesting to see Moonracer there going in as a novice.
Were you surprised at that?
Slightly, but I suppose with age on his side, he's obviously hard to train. There's no guarantee maybe that they'd get a clear run with him next year and get him back here. So maybe it was time to take a plunge. David Pipe, as Jamie said in the hurl tonight, David Pipe is a master at getting these horses here with little experience to run massive races. So maybe he will be a player. Personally, I think Petit Mouchoir has done nothing wrong. I think people are knocking him for the close proximity of footpad at Leopardstown the last day. I think it was clear to see that himself and Nicholas Canyon took each other on, and Footpad was flattered by the distance in the end. I think he's going to go out there. He's going to go a good test and gallop, and I think they'll struggle to get by him. Yanworth is probably the classiest horse in the race, but it's a Champion Hurdle, Johnny, and you have to jump well, and just have question marks about his jumping. Mark Walsh, be absolutely fantastic to see him have a winner here this week. I'm sure he will have a winner, but if he could have his first Cheltenham winner in the Champion Hurdle, it'd be absolutely fantastic, because he's definitely one of the best riders in Ireland, probably second only to Ruby at the moment, and he's a lot of good chances and a lot to look forward to.
I couldn't agree more about Mark Walsh, and there'll be some monkey off his back as well, Leon, to get it out of the way for the Champion Hurdle, and enjoy almost the rest of the week.
He certainly would. I mean, it'd be great for his first ever Cheltenham winner to ride a Champion Hurdle winner. And to be fair, this is the first time he's had a chance. In all his previous rides, I didn't give him any chance.
Would you agree with Niall in the sense that he's up there with the best, maybe with second to Ruby even in Ireland?
Well, I think he wouldn't be riding Yanworth if they didn't believe he was that good, and he is that good. He's ridden plenty of horses in the absence of the unlucky injured Barry Geraghty, and he's never let them down. So Connections are fully confident that he can ride the horse to his best potential. And I would disagree with Niall slightly. I think the quicker pace in the Champion Hurdle might bring about a bit of improvement in Yanworth's jumping. I thought jumping when he won the last day, he jumped it very well. So I think when the race gets going, and it will be a good pace, I think Petit Mouchoir, I would agree that he's done nothing wrong, but maybe he will just set it up for something to come off the pace. And I think Yanworth the Neptune for me is the best trial for champion hurdle. Things didn't go right for him last year. He was on the outside the whole way, but he still finished second to York Hill, so that's not a bad run. And I think Jan Moort, I think he's currently around about the 11:4 mark. I'd be surprised come the off of that race if he's not a little bit shorter. I think they will back him, the connections, and I think he's the most likely winner. But I am a little bit of a fan of Brain Power. I just think in a year where there's no outstanding horse in the race, I think if you read the Herald, I think David Mullins is quietly confident on Brain Power. He rode a little bit of work there at Kempton when he flew over just to ride him, and I think everyone on the track was impressed with what they saw. But look, I'm sticking with Yanworth, but if I was to go each way, I'd probably go Brain Power.
It's questionable if we need much brain power to actually figure out Queen Mother Champion Chase on the Wednesday. Will Duvan be sort of popular in a Cumes? You know, he's not necessarily the type of horse people want to put like 400 quid on to win 100 maybe in the shops or so on.
No, I think if you have the 4, you probably don't need the 1 that much. But I think if you look at Duvan, maybe with Altior in the Arkle, you know what I mean, Harry in the Stayers hurdle, and maybe if Let's Dance, which I think most people expect her to run in the Mayor's Novice on the Thursday, that could be an accumulator, you know. But certainly I think Altior will win on the Tuesday, and I think Duvan will win on the Wednesday. The only horse that will beat them is themselves, and that's if something happens to them if they fall. But I think if both of those horses stay up, I think they'll both win. I think if you're looking maybe at something each way, I mean, it's hard to even look. I think Royal Caviar maybe in the Arkle if you're going each way, and onto the Champion Chase if you're going each way. I know Henry de Bromhead has spoke quite highly about Special Tiara. Maybe it'll finish in a place. But I think racegoers will come here just to witness 2 superstars. And they are, Altior and Duvan. And hopefully, if everything stays well, they might take each other on in 12 months' time.
We're all hoping for that, Niall. If you were to have a play on the distance, now we're not obviously aware at the moment, would you be kind of pro Duvan plus the lengths, or would you be within the lengths of maybe 7 or 8 lengths that he'll be on the underside of what'll probably be a popular wager for people who want to bet Duvan? It's sort of around 10 to 11 one way or the other.
Yeah, I think when you look at the final field, and they're all good horses, you know, in their own right, you'd love to own any of them, wouldn't you? But they're nothing in comparison to Duvan.
Is there any argument that he's not at his best at Cheltenham?
The form, his previous form would say that, but is that a definitive, or, you know, was it just the way that races were run? I think he's a lot less to worry about here, if you know what I mean. Like the way this race is going to be run, I think he's just going to go out there. Special Tiara is going to give him probably a nice lead, and he's just going to go around there, and I think he will go away. You know, Sizing John is probably the benchmark for whether he was at his best in Cheltenham or not. There's no Sizing John here, and probably nothing. I know Special Tiara is a good horse, but I think I'd be going over 7 lengths. Just now, you know, I'm not saying he's going to go up here like Mastermind did a few years ago, or Sprinter Sacre, but I would say over 7 lengths would be a popular one for me, I'd say.
I remember when Mastermind had won his first Queen Mother, and he won by, 18 lengths, and I remember backing him at 2-5 the following year, and he fell in really. So stranger things, you know, have happened. But you know what I mean, Harry, he's a backable price, Leon, for a race that almost everyone seems to think he'll win. And again, in the morning, you might get 6-7-4 maybe about him.
Well, I suppose it depends on how the week is going, Johnny. If bookmakers are ahead after the first 2 days, definitely you could see them trying to get, you know what I mean, Harry, if they've been able to get a couple of the favourites in the opening 2 days. But it looks as if, for me, he would be one of the bankers. He's done nothing wrong. Noel Feely obviously rides him in place of Barry Geraghty. Noel rode him when he was a young horse, so I think he'll know the horse. I'm sure he'll have been down to Harry Fry's and schooled him quite considerably before this contest. But I'm a fan of jet ski, and I think with the weather conditions, and we all think it's going to be good ground on Thursday, I think maybe jet ski at 7-8-1 could be a decent each way bet. You must remember he's a champion hurdle winner. He beat Hurricane Fly over 3 miles at Punchestown. And if anything was going to beat, you know what I mean, Harry, maybe it's a horse that has that bit of class and maybe a turn of foot. But look, the favourite will be popular. I've no doubt about that. But I just think it'll be the 2 McManus colours, 1-2, in whatever way they finish. Cole Harden, better run here on trials day, to be fair to him. He came back to a little bit like himself. But I still think the JP colours will finish 1 and 2 in the Stayers hurdle.
I think Jetski has absolutely no chance. What do you make of him?
Yeah, look, I've been singing about, you know what I mean, Harry, for so long now. I suppose closer to the time you get a bit of cold feet when you hear all the vibes about Jetski. I'm not saying he'd have no chance. I agree with Leon, he'd probably follow him home because he has got that class, and on the better ground I think you're more likely to see that class. But you know what I mean, Harry, I wouldn't be putting him in the same league as Thistlecrack. But when you look at the last 2 years, Thistlecrack was head and shoulders above the stairs last year. He was absolutely a mile clear, and he was sent off at even money. This year, you know what I mean, Harry, he's miles above all the stairs, and it looks like he's going to be about 5 to 4 or even money again. I think he's definitely the best bet of the week. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. He's trained by a very good trainer. He's ridden by a top class jockey. He has outstayed all these horses all season, and he's racing off levels as compared to when Cole Harden got close to him here the last day. So he ticks all the boxes, and I don't know what flaws you could pick in him, to be honest. I can't pick one of you.
I was saying, throughout the week in the Irish Independent that only one of the last 2 renewals of the placed horse in the Gold Cup turns up on Friday, and that's Cheltenham. And I'm making a case that this horse is going to go off favourite. There seems to be a groundswell of support behind him, and maybe as well a slight doubt about the form of the Tizard horses coming into the race. Obviously, Q Card and Native River. What's going to win the Gold Cup, Leon? And it looks an open renewal, doesn't it?
It does look an open renewal. Of course, we're missing the last 2 winners. We're missing the horse that would have been favoured in Thistlecrack, so it has opened it up a little bit. But Cheltenham, you'd have to say, listening to Connections, the preparation has gone as smooth as ever. I mean, it didn't go smooth last year. He got a bad cut on his leg here at Cheltenham in the race before the Gold Cup. The previous year he was only a 6-year-old. So I think coming here as an 8-year-old, coming here fresh, I think Cheltenham will go very close. I think there's a little bit of rain maybe forecast for Friday. I'm sure Connections would love to see that fall. I think that would even give him a better chance of winning the race. But I think he'd probably go off at the moment. I think he's joint favourite 7-2 with Native River. I think he will finish in front of Native River. I think a horse that might just run a big race at a big price if David Mullins can get him into a rhythm is Champagne West. I think he won the Tayestes off a higher mark than what Cheltenham did before he came here and finished second. And I just think maybe at the price around 16-1, he'd be my each way selection. I think it's going to go to Ireland. I hope it is. We've got Outlander. We've got Sizing John, a winner of an Irish Gold Cup. We don't know yet whether Empire of Dirt is going to stay in the Ryanair or go to the Gold Cup. I know the trainer wants him to go to the Gold Cup. So I think Ireland's got a very strong hand. I'm on Cheltenham anti-post at a big price, so I'm hoping he wins.
And I suppose when you listen to Leon there, the Irish challenge is not too bad in this race, considering we don't have Don Cossack, we don't have Valser Lido, we don't have Don Poley, we don't have Road to Riches.
Could you believe it, even with the English horses, that you could have probably the 4 horses that would have been first 4 in the betting are not here? It's incredible, really. I also think it's incredible that Q Card is favourite at the moment. Again, I don't want to repeat myself, he's a horse you'd love to own. Of course he is. He's an incredible horse. To win a 4-year-old, a champion bumper here as a 4-year-old and come back and be still winning grade 1s at 11. But it's hard to say that was a good grade 1 the last day, and I think people are getting a small bit carried away by that. I think I agree.
They're getting carried away by Native River maybe as well, are they?
No, like his performances were quite good. Those weight carrying performances were very good. Maybe his last run, maybe they were getting a bit excited about that one. Alright, it probably wasn't his best. But if you look at his Welsh National, you'd have to be impressed with that. Although some people would say Rasden Marie was closing, but I think that's just his style of running, and Dickie Johnson really suits him down to the ground. He definitely has a chance, but I agree with both of you there. Jack Adam, he's come here, he's still only 8. He's not a 10-year-old coming back here trying to win it for the 3rd time. He's an 8-year-old, probably at the peak of his powers. And Johnny, from all the times we were talking to Willie, he's not one to be overly bullish, but you'd have to get that feeling from him this time around that he's quite happy that maybe they did things wrong at Christmas. They didn't go to Leopardstown for the Irish Gold Cup, and they're coming here a fresh horse and in better form. I agree with Leon. Champagne West, if he could get his jumping right, if he puts in a clear round of jumping, he is going to be a big price, 16-1. But it isn't in a Gold Cup, isn't that a big if? That'd be the concern. But you mentioned Jack Adam coming here after a test as a 6-year-old, winning it off 145. Champagne West did it off 154 and absolutely hosed up. So he is a good, talented horse, but in a Gold Cup you can't afford to make mistakes, and if he makes one, it's going to be game over for him. Jack Adam, for me, the more the week goes on, the more confident you get, I think.
Boyle Sports will give you money back if your horse finished 2nd or 3rd to the SP favourite, or if your horse falls at the first or last jump on every race at Cheltenham. Plus, bet €10 with Boyle Sports today and get €30 in free bets. Cheltenham at Boyle Sports.